Hello students, so let us start with the first lecture of class 11. So this is unit and dimension. But before getting into the chapter, so I'm writing here, mentioning here, this is your lecture 1, right? So let us understand what is the meaning of quantities. Listen to me actually. Basically, we do study about two types of quantities over here. One is your physical and the second one is a non-physical quantities. Right. So how can we understand what is the meaning of a physical and the non-physical quantity? So let me write it down. If we define or so let's types of quantities. So this is broadly classified into two types. One is physical quantity and the second one is non-physical quantity. Let's take an example of non-physical quantity, like how notorious you are, how non-obedient you are, or how much obedient you are non-physical quantity. I cannot measure your obedience, I cannot measure your non-obedience. Okay. Similarly, you cannot measure a room, you cannot measure a room means if you will be, I'm asking you to measure a room, so you'll be asking me that, ma'am, what should we measure? Should I measure the length, should I measure the breadth of the room, okay, volume of it or something? So but physically, if I'm going to tell you that measure the room, measure the bus, measure the building, so in these cases, road, so in these cases these are called as non-physical quantities like bus, room, your kindness. So these things are not getting measured. So we are not going to study about these things, non-physical quantities which cannot be measured, which cannot be measured. If we want to measure it, then we have to define something. Like this thing is can never be measured. But if I want to measure the length of the bus, I have to define that the measure the length of the bus, right? So if I say that measure the bus, then you cannot measure it. You may have to measure that how many passengers are traveling inside a bus. So in that case, it is measurement. But physical quantity are those quantities which can be measured, which can be properly measured. Example of those quantities are like length. If I say that go and measure the length of it, you will go and will have meter scale and can measure it. Mass, velocity, speed, right? Time, area. So these are the quantities which can be measured. So we are going to discuss about this physical quantity or this quantity, not the non-physical quantity which cannot be measured. Okay. After that, we should learn about what is the meaning of measurement. What is the meaning of measurement? Right? Right. Let me take an example. Then after that, I will give you the definition of it. I say the volume of water in a container is given as 10 liter. Let the volume of water in a container is given as 10 liter. I said 10 is the numerical value of water contained inside and liter is a standard quantity. Standard quantity, right? If I make it at 6 liter, still liter is there. If I make it as 7 liter, still liter is there. But this value is continuously getting changed. So this standard quantity is called as unit. This standard quantity is called as unit. So if we wish to write down the measurement of, the definition of the measurement, it is written as it is a process in which, measurement is always a process in which we compare amount of a physical quantity, amount, I'm writing it as amount because you will get acquainted with it after this. This is amount of a physical quantity right, with a standard amount of that quantity, with a standard amount of that quantity, standard amount of that quantity. You don't have to write down the note. I am going to share it with you, the PDF note. So it is a process in which we compare the amount of a physical quantity with a standard amount of that particular quantity, right? So we studied about the different type of quantities and measurement and measurement. Clear? Okay. So that means, can't we say that any of the physical quantity is, it should have two parts of it? So basically, if I'm going to write down the general expression of any of the physical quantity, it must have a n part and a u part. Let me define what is the meaning of this n part and u part. So this n part is the numerical part, or like here, this is the numerical part and this is the unit part, or the numerical value of it, and this is the unit value. So this expression is quite important for us to understand the further application of it. Clear? So any physical quantity must have two parts for its measurement. One is the numerical value and the second one is the unit value of it. Okay, let's move to the next part of it. Let us discuss about the unit. Let us discuss about unit. I'm going to discuss about the unit of it. Just a minute. Well, let's understand the definition of a unit first, and then after that we will learn it. All physical quantities. This is also quite useful for your board examination, because definitions are asked in that exam. All physical quantities are measured with respect to are measured with respect to a standard with respect to a standard magnitude of some standard magnitude of some physical quantity. I'll explain it to you. Wait. Standard magnitude of some physical quantity which has a constant magnitude. Which has a constant magnitude. Constant. First time I'm writing here. It has a constant magnitude. What is the meaning of this constant magnitude? Like these units are called as, are like second, liter, meter, kilogram, etc. Right? So these are the physical quantity. Every physical quantities are measured with a standard magnitude of some physical quantity, like second, liter. So without defining all these things, if I write it as x, then what is the meaning of it? There is no meaning of it. Okay. If I simply write it as x and you don't define, then what is x? Whether it is time, whether it is volume, or your length, mass, or anything. So who is going to define it? So there is no meaning of it. So if you want to express something, you have to define a particular unit, and it must have a constant magnitude. What are the characteristics of this unit? The first characteristics is that it should not be too small or too large. It should not be too small. That means it should be always each for your calculation, too small or too large. Let's take an example. If we are doing some mathematical calculation, geometry you have studied, like mensuration. So in that case, if I want to measure something, like it's very, very, very small, so it's really difficult for us to write it down. Or if it is very big or too large, so again it is very difficult to express, right? So it should not be too small or too large, and it should not change with any other physical parameter or physical condition. If I say that there is a scale, right? So or it is a road, like if I'm going to give it a temperature difference like 1 degree centigrade, 2 degree centigrade, like this, or the pressure is getting changed or humidity is getting changed, so its length is going to is it going to be appreciably getting changed? No, right? So it's not change with time, or maybe after 2 hours, if I say that this road is extending with time, like if you come after 2 hours, so this distance between two places are going to be from 2 kilometer to 10 kilometer. Is it possible? No, it should not change with time or other physical condition, or other physical condition. And what are the physical condition? Pressure, temperature, humidity, right? Pressure, temperature, humidity, and all. Okay. So this is all about the units. So let's next move to the next part. Now we are going to broadly classify this physical quantity into two types. Physical quantity into two types. So let's define. Because we are going to study about physical quantity only. Physical quantity is broadly classified into fundamental physical quantity, and the second one is derived physical quantity. What is the meaning of it? If I say that I'm taking a slice of bread, this is a slice of bread, I'm going to break it into two parts like this, right? So if I join them, then only they can form the complete bread once again, complete bread once again, right? So these separate parts, I'm going to call it as example, like these are the fundamental parts. And when we combine it, they are going to form a derived part. So in fact, when the fundamental quantities are combined, they do form derived part. When the fundamental quantities are combined, they form a derived physical quantity. When the fundamental physical quantities are combined, they do form derived physical quantity. Clear? So that means we can say fundamental physical quantities are independent. Independent. Okay. Let's take an example. Length. Does it depend on any other physical quantity to be measured? No. Example of independent physical quantities. Like example is length, mass, time. Okay. But anyways, there are 7 fundamental physical quantities along with 2 supplementary physical quantities are there. We will discuss it one by one. Okay, but derived quantities. In your junior classes, you probably have studied about velocity, right? It is the rate of change of position, right? Or if I say that, speed, right? So we write it as length by time, general expression. As we go a little bit depth, so all these definitions are going to be appreciably changed. So see, length and time are fundamental physical quantities, but speed is derived out of that. Speed is derived out of that. So speed is a derived physical quantity, while length and time are fundamental physical quantity, because speed cannot be defined without using these two fundamental physical quantity. Another example is force. Another example is force. Or before that, let me tell you that it is acceleration. Let it be. Acceleration is velocity by time. See, already velocity depends on the fact of length and time, and again acceleration depends on velocity as well as with time. So velocity is length by time and by time, right? So that means it will become length by time square, length by square of time, right? So again, this is our derived quantity which depends on the fundamental quantities. So the manner in which these derived quantities are dependent on the fundamental physical quantities. The derived quantities are dependent on the fundamental physical quantities. Okay, so this is the way how its units are going to be expressed. We will learn it one by one. Clear? Okay, so next one is, what are the principal system of units? Like in the whole world, actually there are many system of units are there. So let us discuss about few of the principal system of unit, like very commonly used or accepted forms of unit, principal system of units. For the measurement of physical quantity, like different system of units are used. Okay. So some of the popular systems of units are, first one is FPS. Actually, this is used in UK, United Kingdom. Okay. So they say that no, we don't follow the other methods. We are going to use this method. Like, so here, the system is called as foot, pound, and second. For them, time is measured in second. For everyone, time is measured in second actually. And mass is measured in pound, and your length is measured in foot, right? Feet. I'll tell you that how the values get changed. You know, acceleration due to gravity, G value. We take the value of this as 9.8 meter per second square in SI system of unit. But if I'm talking about the feet, so this value becomes 32 feet per second square. 32 feet per second square. So these are the conversion factors that we will study later. Okay. Second one is, this is used very commonly in US actually. No one is going to ask you the question, but this is for general knowledge. This one is for centimeter. Here the length is measured in cm, centimeter. Capital G is for gram because mass is used in gram, and time is again in second. Third unit is very easily accepted, widely accepted system of unit, that is MKS. MKS is meter. In many of the countries, this system is actually adopted, and in India also it is adopted. Mass, length is given in meter, mass is in kilogram. Okay. Have you ever heard that if you are going to buy potatoes and you say that give me 2 pounds of potatoes? No. Have you ever used this word like 2 gram of potatoes? No. You will be going and will be saying that I want 2 kg of potatoes, because this is very commonly used. People know this unit only. And the unit of time is second, right? And the unit of time is second. Okay, but there are many physical quantities are there which are not measured by the, or which are really difficult by measured by the above three quantities. Okay, but there are many physical quantities are there which are not easy to be measured by, or easy to be expressed or measured by the above systems, So that's why another widely accepted system is used, that is called as International Standard of Measurement. International Standard of Measurement. And this system is called as SI system. This system is called as SI system. And this system defines 7 fundamental physical quantity and 2 supplementary units. This system defines 7 fundamental physical quantity and 2 supplementary units. And we are going to discuss the 7 fundamental physical quantity along with 2 supplementary units. Clear? Okay. So let us discuss about the 7 fundamental quantity. Okay. 7 fundamental quantity. Okay. But if I'm talking about class 11th, we are going to completely study about Newtonian mechanics in class 11. So all the physical quantities, all the fundamental physical quantities are not required. Mechanics can be covered with only 3 fundamental physical quantity, but as we advance in the topic, other physical quantities will be there, but many of the quantities are there which are not going to be used also. So let us discuss about fundamental physical quantity according to SI system. So these are the best quantities, like these are the just like the 2 parts of the sliced bread, right? Fundamental physical quantity. So let us discuss about it one by one. I'm going to write down the name of the quantity. First one is length. It's SI unit. And the third column is for unit or symbol. Sorry. This is for symbol and this one is for unit. First one is length. Its SI unit is meter. Symbol is, this is I'm writing it as meter, and symbol is small m. Next one is mass. SI unit is kilogram and symbol is kg. You can get it in any of the standard book also, that's not an issue. Next one is time. Its SI unit is second and symbol is second, or actually symbol is small s, actually small s. Next one is temperature. Kelvin, represented as capital K. Degree centigrade is not the it's a symbol or unit. It's Kelvin only. And I will tell you that why it is Kelvin, right? Why it is not degree centigrade. In the next chapters, like as we will be advancing in the second part of class 11 then. Next one is current. SI unit is ampere. Symbol is capital A or capital I. This one will come in class 12th, right? Temperature, and I think you have already studied it in class 11th also, in 10th also, right? Temperature also you probably have studied it in your junior classes. Next one is luminous intensity. Luminous intensity. Its SI unit is candela. Its SI unit is candela, right? And it is never required. Actually, for us, it is not going to be required. Its symbol is CD. And last one is amount of substance. It is very widely used in, it is quite widely used in your chemistry, right? Amount of substance. Amount of substance is mole, right? That is also a physical quantity. Symbol is MOL. Symbol is MOL. That is mole. Okay. Now let us study about the two separate supplementary quantities. Two supplementary quantities, right? Two supplementary quantities. Right? Actually, well, these are the two dimension. When we will study about dimension, I will tell you that why these quantities are not having any dimension. Okay, the first one is plane angle. You know that I'm going to take two lines, and this is called as the plane angle. Theta as you wrote, write it as, right? This is plane angle. If I will just make an arc over here, you can see that this angle is theta. Let this is the radius, and this one is arc length. This is called as arc length. L is equal to r theta. Okay, it has a unit of radian. It has a unit of radian and represented as rad. Second one is quite important. It is solid angle. This is solid angle. I will have a separate discussion of solid angle in your class 12. Solid angle is a three-dimensional angle. It is a 3D angle, 3D angle. Have you seen the cone, ice cream cone? Have you seen the cornetto ice cream? Right? So this three-dimensional angle is called a solid angle. This three-dimensional angle is called a solid angle. Right? This is called a solid angle. Three-dimensional angle is called a solid angle. Okay. I'll just give a small description of it. Actually, this is measured in such a way that, you know that if this is a spherical surface, this one is a spherical surface, and it has an area. Its area of spherical surface is written as solid angle into r square. You must be asking me that what is the meaning of this r? R is this length or the radius of this, and this angle is called as half angle. This angle is called as half angle of the cone. Half angle. We will study it in detail separately, right? So area of the solid spherical surface is sigma. Ohm r square. Have you seen the symbol? It is also used for resistance, right? ohm. Ohm is also known as solid angle. So solid angle has a formula of area upon r square. Area upon r square. Clear? Clear to all of you? Okay. So these are our fundamental and supplementary units that we have studied. Okay. So we are done with the units, definition of unit and how the things are getting measured. So second part is dimension of physical quantity. The second part of it is dimension of physical quantity. I'm starting it today and I will continue the lecture in the next class. But this one I am starting. Let me teach something to you. Then after that I will write it. So the next part is dimension of a physical quantity. Dimension of physical quantity. Dimension of a physical quantity. Fine. As we know that there are 7 base quantities, I have already explained you that in mechanics only 3 quantities are sufficient to study the whole chapter, that is mass, L and T. So I'm only discussing about these 3 now. Then gradually we will move to the other parts of it. As we know that I'm discussing about the velocity. So velocity is displacement by time. Displacement by time. So what is the expression for displacement? L or symbol. Time is t. So if I want to take this t to up, so this is expressed as lt to the power minus 1. So cannot I say that? Can't I say that the dimension of velocity is one dimension of length? Can I say that it is one dimension of length and minus one dimension of time? Yes. And minus one dimension of time, right? So that means we can say that the dimensional equation of velocity is going to be m to the power 0. If I want to include it in the expression, it should give you m to the power 0. L is raised to its power to 1. T to the power minus 1. It's not completed. Let me tell you. This m, L and T are called as base quantities, and power. Power of these base quantities like 0, 1 and minus 1 are the dimension of base quantity. These power are the dimension of base quantity. Got it? Yes? Okay.